buy them all. I mean, just buy them all. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all my favorite highlighters from the drugstore. We've got some from Maybelline, from Essence, Wet n Wild, of course. So if you're interested in this video, make sure to keep watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I'm kind of going to just tell you guys a little bit about why I like each highlighter, and I'm going to start with the most expensive highlighter. So all of the prices I got off of Ulta except for one, which I'll tell you about. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first one I have is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips all-in-one custom nude palette for face and eyes, and it is in the shade Warm Nudes. They do have one more shade, and I think it's called Natural Nudes. So these are a little bit warmer, as the name suggests, and Natural Nudes are a little bit more neutral toned. So I tend to gravitate towards these 6 little squares right there, just because I do have lighter skin. I don't really reach for these more bronzy shades and that pink shade very often, but sometimes I will go ahead and just swirl my brush in all of it. But most of the time I just focus on these 6 squares. But the great thing about this palette is that it is super versatile. You can use these as eyeshadows. If you have a deeper skin tone, you can definitely focus more towards the deep spectrum of this palette. So I think it's really awesome. This does retail for $13.99 at Ulta. So it's up there in price for drugstore, but that comes with all of Physicians Formula's products. This is also a really buildable highlighting palette, so you can start kind of soft and then work your way up, which I also really enjoy because I can wear it on a more natural day and also on a day that I want a more intense highlight. So I really love it for that purpose, and like I said, it's just so versatile. So I highly recommend checking this one out. Let me show you guys a swatch really quickly. I'm just going to kind of work my finger around in this section. So that's what it looks like, and like I said, it is buildable. So the first swatch you do, it's kind of just your average kind of champagne color, but it kind of really melts into the skin, so it looks really beautiful. Alright, next up we have a new release from the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter. This retails for $9.99 at Ulta. So it's up there in price for Maybelline a little bit. Their prices have been slowly creeping up. We all see you, Maybelline. We see what you're doing. But this is really good quality, so I don't mind paying the price for it. I mean, you can see in the pan just how reflective it is. And the formula is so... it is powdery, but it also is creamy. It's like this really weird formula, but I can't really explain it. And when you blend it out onto the skin, you get this just beautiful gold sheen. I mean, just look, it has that wet metallic look. I just can't get over it, and I was afraid of this color at first because you can see it's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but once you blend it onto the cheeks, you can't really tell, at least on my skin tone. Now if you're more fair than I am, you might want to stay away from this because it might catch the light from the side, but when you look straight on, you don't want to have that, you know, harsh gold kind of color there, so you might want to stay away from this. But it also is really good that the drugstore is catering to deeper skin tones, because a lot of times they cater towards the lighter spectrum of skin tones, so I think that's really awesome, and this is an amazing formula, definitely worth you checking out. Next we have a face palette. It is by E.L.F. It's their Beautifully Bare Natural Glow face palette. So it comes with 2 blushes, a bronzer, and a highlight. And I love all 4 products that come in here. And I'm actually planning on doing a video dedicated to E.L.F. palettes, so I'm not going to get into these 3. But the highlighter I love. It's so buttery and not a lot of powders coming off. You can see I'm really digging my finger in there, and there's no powder coming off. And it's almost this weird kind of beigey gray color, which seems like a turnoff, and I don't even know why I'm swatching it because it's going to be so faint. Yeah, you can't see it. I don't know if I could do anything on camera to do this highlighter justice. It's so natural, and that gray beige undertone in it, it just melts into the skin because it's very skin-like. It's very similar to a light to medium skin tones complexion. So if you're going for a no makeup day, but you just kind of want to glow, just put it right here. I've even used it to kind of like dust away the baking under my eyes just to give it a soft glow. There's absolutely no glitter in this. It's just a beautiful glow. I really don't know how to explain it, but I highly recommend this palette, obviously for all the other shades as well, but this is so beautiful just buy it. It's only $8 and it's just so good. It's such good quality. E.L.F. makes such awesome products. There are some misses, but for the most part, this is a really, really beautiful highlighter, and I highly, highly suggest you guys checking this one out. Alright, next we have one of the highlighters that I'm wearing on my face today. This is the highlighter I wore on my wedding day. It is by Wet n Wild, and this one is from their Fergie collection that they did a while back. So mine is called Rosé Champagne Glow, but they do still sell this on their website. It's called the To Reflect Shimmer Palette, and on their website this shade is called I'll Have a Cosmo. You get so much product in here. You get 0.4 ounces, which is twice as much as a normal highlighter. So I think that's really awesome. You kind of have this swirled marble effect with some pinks and some golds and some white kind of silver shimmer in there. It does have a little bit of glitter, so if you don't like any glitter, I wouldn't recommend this. But it is super pigmented, and it's just that kind of pretty icy pink champagne shade. So for fair skin like me, this looks really, really good. If you have really deep skin, I don't know, this might look a little bit ashy, but this is really catered more towards fair skin tones. I think it's so beautiful. I've worn it a lot, and I haven't even come close to making a dent in this, so I probably will never use it up. It's only $5.99 on the Wet n Wild website. They don't sell this one at Ulta currently. I know they're getting more Wet n Wild products all the time, so they might end up selling this someday, but for right now, you can only get it on Wet n Wild's website, and sometimes you can find it in a store, but definitely recommend hunting this one down because it's super, super good. Alrighty, next up we've got the Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighting powders. So these are different from the highlighting powders I just told you about. This is their Megaglo formula. It's much more creamy than the other one, but just as pigmented. This one is in the shade Precious Petals, and these Megaglo powders retail for $4.99, so $1 cheaper than the other one I was telling you about, but you also get half as much product. So this is the shade Precious Petals, like I mentioned. It's more of a rose gold champagne shade. It is a touch deeper than my skin tone when I'm more fair, like in the winter time, but like right now in the summer, this is a really beautiful rose gold color on my cheekbones, and I love this one. The formula is just so high-end. I mean, I cannot get over it. All of these feel like high-end highlighters. I mean, it's just amazing. You really do not need to spend a lot of money on a highlighter. Just trust my opinion on that. I mean, they might look pretty, and I do have some of my favorite highlighters are from places like Sephora and whatnot, but I mean, you just can't beat this. It's just so pretty, and for such an affordable price, I mean, $5 for this is so good. And they just launched like 4 more shades of this. They originally only had 2, now they have 4 more, so you can definitely find one to match your skin tone. I love these so much. And I also have one from their limited edition collection in the shade The Sweetest Bling. This is more pinky toned, so I highly recommend you guys checking these out. They do sell them online and in store and on Ulta's website. Alright, last up for the powder highlighters. You guys knew this was coming. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. It retails for $4.50 on Ulta's website. This is a stunner. It's just an absolute stunner. It's that beautiful glow from within. You can't tell you're wearing a highlighting powder at all. It just looks so naturally radiant, and the formula is just, it's just like butter. If you go to an Ulta and they have a tester of this, just feel it. I mean, buy it because it's only $4.50, but feel it if you really don't want to buy it. I don't know if a swatch will show much. There's absolutely no shimmer in this, just beautiful kind of gold. The swatch is right there. It just gives you that natural, just lit from within look, and it's very similar to the one in the E.L.F. palette that I mentioned just a little bit ago. Just that kind of natural, it kind of blends in with your skin tone. It has that beigey undertone to it. So I highly recommend you guys checking this one out too. Just buy them all. I mean, just buy them all. Okay, maybe don't buy them all, like if you're not obsessed with makeup like I am, but these are so good, and I have 2 more to show you guys. These are both from E.L.F. and they're both liquid highlighters. So I have the E.L.F. Highlighting Dewy Drops, which retail for $4, and this E.L.F. Shimmering Facial Whip in the shade Lilac Petal, which is only $1 on E.L.F.'s website. So both of these dry down completely. You can't feel them on the face, although I do recommend putting them on before you put any powder products on, just because they have a tendency to move any powders that you have already set. They kind of move them around a little bit and nobody wants that. So I did apply the E.L.F. highlighting dewy drops underneath all my powder products, and then I did put the Wet n Wild I'll have a Cosmo highlighter on top of that. So I'll show you guys what this one looks like. This one comes out more of like a champagne color, and you can mix this one in with foundation super easily as well. And this, like just the other ones, it kind of blends into the skin and it just gives that really gorgeous kind of wet metallic look. It's right there. And then the Lilac Petal is a more peachy pink tone. So if you have really light skin, this is a really good kind of blush topper. So in the winter, that's what I'll use this for. And then if you have deeper skin, this is a really pretty kind of peachy pink highlighter. If you want something a little bit different, it's right there. So it's still really shimmery, really reflective, but it just has a little bit more of a peach undertone. And right now, once you sheer it out on the cheeks, it still looks like a highlight, so you can still get away with wearing that one as a highlighter as well. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick video on some of my favorite highlighters. If you have any questions about them, leave them down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to go further in depth about each one. But I hope you guys check some of these out. If you do, let me know if you enjoy it or not. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions, or if you already own some of these, let me know what your thoughts are on them. So be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Hit